welcome back to 26 Acres Outdoors. Today I'm going to show you a little turkey hunting trick that I use that works. I've never really seen anybody do it, but I call it the turkey hunting grocery store, because that's kind of what we're setting up. And this is with no bait, no food. This is just the areas that they come in. It's a way to lure them in to you, or for them to see your decoy nice and easy in a field. May not be able to do this on every field you hunt, but this happens to be my field, so I can play around and do what I'm going to do. So let me show you what we got going on and what I'm going to do, how I'm going to set it up, and then what it looks like when it's all done. And it is like a hurricane, so we have not done any turkey hunting all weekend or the end of last week. I don't know what's going on with the weather. It's been way too windy. But I'm going to set up, and let me show you what we got. So this is one of the fields that I hunt in, and we get a lot of turkey activity throughout the day. Usually early morning, they'll only come down in the gravel bank, and that's even a hit and a miss. My property, they do not roost anywhere. They roost on all the adjacent properties, so I have to kind of lure them up. They do travel through my property, and that's when I see them, but I usually don't see any from early morning. I don't see any from usually about 9:30 on, around noon, throughout the early afternoon. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do in this field as we do it, and when we're done. You don't need a skid steer or a brush hog. You can use just a regular mower, a riding tractor, whatever you got, if you can do this where you hunt. But it does work. And we'll set some cameras up. Hopefully when I'm at work, we'll see them all cruising through. Sorry about the wind. So I know they come up my road here. They come up my other deer trail. And then this is a field. They come up from the top. They come up from the corner. They come up down this road. And they always like to hang out right in this area or that area. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to cut a strutting area, and we're going to cut some lanes. And I'll show you how I set my decoys up for the morning and for the evening. And you'll see how this looks, and you'll see, have a better idea how it works once I get it all done. So let's go get it set up. All right, what I'm going to do, and this is just a reference point for when I'm in the machine. I'm going to take a stake, and this is going to be our center point. This is going to be the center point of the strut area we're going to cut. And as you can see, most of the grass is up to my knees. So, like anything, you do this with deer too. If your field gets tall, or even in this case, those turkeys are going to use that lane because they're lazy. They're going to come into a nice area full of bugs, all this stuff, and they're going to strut. You watch. So I'm going to put this in. Hit a rock right off the bat. And this is just a reference point. And then so when I'm in the machine, I can see it. You can put a flag, whatever. Flag, I use caution tape. And so now I know where we're going to be aiming a tractor. And see, I hunker down in those hemlocks, or I'll put my blind right there. And as you can see, our center point is going to be about 20 yards away from where we'll be sitting. All right, so now we'll get in the machine and do some cutting. Okay, there's our stake. I'm in the skid steer. And now we're just going to cut right to that stake. I'm coming where one of my deer trails come out, so let me rev this thing up and let's get to it. Okay, folks, as you can see, we got a whole bunch of trails meeting at our stake. So now we're just going to cut a nice, well, rectangle, whatever. Not too big, but big enough that they got a nice small area to strut around in and whatnot. So, and I'll show you how the rest of it works, but I'm going to get ready to cut this up. You don't want to make it too big, and you want to leave the grass taller where you'll be hunting because you're still trying to hide from them. So, all right, here we go. Okay. So now we cut up our nice little strutting area here. And we have paths from quite a few different directions. You can add as many paths as you want. But we'll go to our center point, and I'll show you how I set my decoys up. So, and then after that, we'll show you how it looks when we're all done. From all these different, well, not all of them, but some of these paths, and you'll see what I mean. It's like a turkey grocery store. It's like going through the grocery store, and you walk down the aisles. What do? You look downward the aisles and look what you want. Well, guess what? Hopefully, all goes according to plan. That's what happens. So in the early morning, up till about noon, I'll run a hen, Henrietta here, as we like to call her. I will either put her on a stake, or I will put her down, like so. And then we'll take Jimmy the Jake, and we'd put him up on the stand, and we put a little offset from her, and we would stick him in the ground, and we would have, like he's there getting ready, like she's being submissive, she's laying down, and that is going to totally tick off a dominant tom or even some other ones. If they see this stuff going on down here, they're gonna get a little upset, and they probably should come charging early morning. If it is afternoon, since they've already been fighting all day, the last thing, unless you get the dominant tom, he's gonna still come in. But if all the other turkeys got their butt kicked all morning, they're not gonna want to fight. So come afternoon time, I would just run little Henrietta here up like she's feeding, and you know, see what we can do. Or, and if it gets late evening, nobody wants to find a girlfriend and nobody wants to fight, then you would just post up on their travel paths, which I know where they are around the property, and my game cameras will tell me what time they're coming. And that also dictates where I'm hunting, what I'm using. But I'm going to set this up like I was hunting. I only have one stake, so she's going to be sitting down. But we'll put this up here in the middle. And like I said, I'd be hunkered down in those bushes, or I'm going to put my blind up like I usually do in this corner, about 20 yards away. So I'm going to set it up, and then we'll take a couple walks around and shoot some pictures down from here. Okay, so here's one of my deer trails that comes out into this field, which I keep maintained. So when you would come out this way, even if you were a turkey, what do you see? Oh, that looks like trouble. I want to fight. That's my girlfriend. Boom. There's one alley. And now my property, that's a dip. So it does get a little difficult when you're on top to see them, but we'll check it out. And then I miscut this one over here, but I'm not really worried about it. They're going to see that anyway walking up this road. But they do like to come out of the scrubs over here. And like I said, the turkey's definitely going to see that. We're only 2 feet off the ground. I don't know how good the GoPro shows it, but you guys are getting the idea, right? So let's go try up top, see what it looks like. Up at the top here. So we got a path here, and a path in the corner. So on this one, you know, obviously if you were 3 feet tall, you'd see. But we're also going to be calling, and right about here, if we get to turkey level, you can just see the top of that head on the tom. But the thing is, you're going to be calling down there anyway. So if they come up top here, he's going to start going down the path that you cut. Or if he came out there, or if he came out over there. But you can see him sitting down there. And like I said, we're preying on their weakness, their vision. And their hearing, because I got to call them from property next door. But, like I said, if you had a nice flat field, it's just killer way to set up with these lanes. I don't. But we can see, I said, all right, here we are. If you're a turkey, you can just see, if I have this jangled right, boom, I can see our little Jake. And we're not that far from the wood line. So, That's one lane, and the other one we got in the middle has a lot bigger dip. We're over here where they come out. If you look down there, there's our decoys. Even if you get all the way down to turkey height, you can just see the top of them. Top of Mr. or Jake. See him? This GoPro doesn't zoom, so I apologize. But you guys are all getting the idea, right? They're bebopping down path. They look down. What's that noise? They're in the grocery aisle. And they look right down this grocery aisle, and what do we see? Oh, not good. Pretty cool, huh? Because if you did it in, they would know or possibly hear it through this taller grass, but they don't want to walk through that tall stuff. I've used this method before. It does work. If you have a nice open flat field and everything's on the same level, probably had better luck than me. But I started doing this last year, and it worked great, except my blind, I couldn't get the windows open, and I did pretty busy with work. But we're gonna hopefully give it a run this week, try to get the cameras back up and see when they're coming. And there we go. So there we go. The turkey store grocery turkey store, whatever you want to call it. It's like shopping at the grocery store. You got to look down the aisles. Turkey's gonna do the same thing. Well, if you guys like us, comment, like, subscribe, and like I said, any questions or suggestions, or maybe somebody else has tried this, but it would definitely work better if your field was completely flat.